In the year of 2021, after many years of searching, I was able to purchase a remote property deep in the mountains of Western Canada. I've recently decided to quit my job, move here full-time, and see if I can survive solely on a YouTube income. With no neighbors, very difficult access, endless wilderness, and a river that runs through it all, I couldn't be happier with this newfound freedom. Follow along with me for this challenging journey while I try to create a livable space in this unforgiving yet beautiful vast wilderness. Off to get groceries from the vehicle. Looking forward to getting that boat motor fixed. The Starlink. Single panel's been doing pretty good. There's plans for the bridge. That's going to be a pretty big job. We'll have to follow another tree beside this if I can. Perhaps that one back there though. August is the time to be here. I have a full bag of food. I still didn't even get it all. I stocked up pretty good the last time I went into town. I still didn't even get it all. That's the difference between the boat and the trail. I might have to seriously rent a piece of equipment. It's just a money thing right now. I have to get the YouTube channel going a little better if I'm ever going to afford, because I'd love to be able to, I could get the ATV access in with hand tools and chainsaws. It's going to require a lot of work, and it'll be perfect for snowmobiling because you have all that snow as a cushion. You can just go through anywhere. But with the ATV, it's so lumpy. In terms of transporting anything, forget it. A backpack, that's it. Maybe something on the front strapped onto the ATV. So that's why the river's so important in the summer, because you can move 10x, 20x the amount of material as you could compared to an ATV. It feels fine if it's just bringing in food and stuff. It's the, gotta cut that thing up. Anything bigger than a backpack. Oh man, that one got me good. Egg. Right in the melon. Yeah, anything bigger than a backpack or whatever. Yeah. Unless I could get some machinery in here, really level it smooth. If I could ever get a bunch of gravel in, basically make a dirt road. If I could ever drive a vehicle to like an actual pickup truck, wow, that would be like the yellow brick road. That would be unbelievable. The amount of money and everything it would cost to do that, I don't know. I don't see it happening. Hello, bear? Could also make the argument that it's better, you know. I'm uber remote. Keep it remote, no roads. You're gonna have this pristine property. The romance goes away after a while though, when you just keep doing those same trips over and over and over again. But it is great having such a remote property. we take our roads for granted. They're so convenient. This trail isn't too bad though. It's a good foot road. Considering the first time I walked through here, you couldn't even get you couldn't get through any of it. Everything was like this. Like really just the worst stuff. It was really hard on the chainsaws to clear all this stuff. So the chainsaws were constantly getting filled up with crap. It was hard on them. And so at least I have the trail. This is the only way in the winter. You can even pull a sled with your body with a lot of weight. It's not all that bad. So even if I was skiing in or snowshoeing in all the time, depends how often I'm going away. But anyway, I'm just rambling. Hope you guys are enjoying your August. Nice little viewpoint there every time they stop. Oh, bear! So we have that. Both my rafters at each end, I have them perfectly where I want them. Here, has to come up a hair. So because this beam was carved out of a tree on an Alaskan mill, the thicknesses vary. I ran a perfectly straight string line yesterday. It's good there. And I checked to make sure the distance north or south was exactly where it needs to be. So in this case I had to remove a 1/16 of material over there to the right of it, for example. I will have to remove 1/8 of material. That's what you get for carving a beam out of a tree. With an Alaskan mill. So inconsistencies. Ultimately all my rafters will be exactly the same length. The beam is plenty thick. I'm not weakening the beam by doing this. Setting the depth on the blade. 1/8. I could use a chisel too. Or I should say good morning everyone. But I wonder if we'll ever get around to working on that cabin with all this great weather. I'm meeting with a fellow from the area who reached out, a trapper and a teacher. He's offered to give me a bunch of windows and I think a door or a couple doors maybe. I don't have to drive in town. He's bringing them right down to the bridge where my boat is parked. So that's kind of cool of him. Yeah, saves me a trip and saves me money. When it's nice out like this, I could just walk this trail all day. It's beautiful. Anyone know what kind of berries those are? They're like, oh, look at those red berries, they're everywhere. kind of a cool color contrast. Just a few weeks ago, everything was just like green, 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 but now you're starting to see the different colors. The leaves are just the odd one. Starting to see a change a tiny bit. At a full gallop now. It's my own private running trail. Oh yeah. Hello, bear! Here, my friend Reed, who I just met, he delivered on his own dime and on his own time a bunch of windows and doors, which saves me hundreds of dollars, and it saves me a trip into town. So that's pretty amazing of him. This is his channel. Check it out at
Dead Pine Collective, but I've got my Dead Pine Trappers t-shirt and hat on.
My boat is still down. I haven't really taken the time to try to get it fixed yet. So we drove all the way up to the trailhead, did the long hike into my property from the trailhead. Yeah, like I say, that's a huge help. It saves me a lot of time, money, and effort.
And then I just ended up moving along here.
Here we have the rainbow, bull trout, Dolly Varden. There it is. There's a bull trout breeding, non-breeding, so it gives a very good description. And right now, the type of salmon species that is coming in from the Pacific Ocean, a very, very, very far ways away, is the Chinook. It's the largest of the salmon species, the Chinook, and that's what is in this river right now. So there's the breeding, non-breeding. I'll try a little bit more later, change up the lure. That's not the right lure for this river, but I thought I'd try it anyway. And yeah, at least the salmon have started. I'm not sure if it's going to be a good year for the Chinook or not. That. I have to make that one cut to take that tree out, the one that my boat got hung up on, and it turned the boat over. As you can see, it's growing horizontally out of the bank. On this side here, there's a sort of a straight drop off almost. I think I might be able to get it. When I tried last year, I sank it up to my knees in mud for whatever reason, and then the water would drop straight off. I have to make one cut, and the reason I'm not wearing my safety gear is if I fall in there, at least I can swim. I can just drop the chainsaw. I remember trying to stand here last year, and it was just soft muck everywhere. Oh, I can definitely reach it today. Okay, let's just try to stand up here. See you later. So long, old friend. Well, good morning, everyone. I've had 2 visitors in 2 days. That's a record. 2 different visitors in 2 days. A fellow I met yesterday who gave me all the windows and doors. For the first time where I've actually been on this property, jet boat with like a family. They just came by. I didn't get it on camera, but that's kind of cool. They just drove by and I waved. But I might go say hi to them because they're parked downriver. I don't know if they're fishing or what. They're just over here, but they're still technically on my property. I don't care. if anyone were to set up a camp there or whatever, camping, it's just a family, so it doesn't bother me. I might go and say hi just for the sake of it. Stretch my legs, walk across the river. Got a few rafters on last night. You get sidetracked and zero work gets done. A little bit. I've had a few hours in, but just hustling, and but it's hustling in a way where it has nothing to do with working on your own property. Well, that is so cool. So I went over the people that are that came up with their boat. Social life is looking pretty good after all. One of the people caught a beautiful bull trout. They know this area very well. This general region. He used to be a hunting guide up in this area a long time ago, and he knows this area, this valley, this river inside and out. I've just learned some fascinating things, like there used to be a hunting guiding outfit here going way back. I now know where the freshwater spring is. It's so grown in there, I must have been walking right over it and missing it and not really hearing the little sounds of it because it's coming out of an embankment. I've heard great things about this freshwater spring. The person who sold me this property a few years ago said one of her friends swore up and down that it had healing properties in this freshwater spring. So I now have the freshwater spring source. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the river. Getting all that information, oh my goodness, that made my day. Cabins up in the mountains that haven't been used in years. We're gonna go find that one day. Holy cow. Let's go find this freshwater spring that's been so elusive for a couple of years now. Good boy. There's so many of them under that rubber boat. Let's do it. So it's somewhere up that embankment, apparently. Should be here somewhere. So there used to be a trail. There was that old cabin that was built up in there. And allegedly it's along the bank. There was a well-used pathway going up to the cabin because they would have tied their boats up here. It's amazing how much the forest has taken over. It would be hard to see the old footpath that would have been used for decades going up to the cabin up there. The cabin that's now decrepit and falling apart. It could actually be up the other way at the other end of the, right at that 90-degree turn. Maybe I'll double back to check that out. That, out of nowhere. I'm above the river, about 10 feet. That's coming out of the ground. That's not a puddle. It's cold. There's some wet mud in there. Hasn't rained in weeks. I think if I dug this out more, it's halfway up an embankment before the cabin. So this is definitely it. And I could see it sort of leaching out of the ground. So it's getting a natural filtering from the ground. Well, at this rate, I should be done in about 3 or 4 years. That's all right, we'll get her before snow comes. side. I still have to do an overhang over here. Come on out. I'm sure many of you know this, and I'm sure many of you don't. So this is high. This is to allow air to come over top. The insulation is going to fill about that much thickness. So like I say, many of you know this, I know. So let's say the insulation is this thick, and it's going to fill all this. All the way up and all the way down type thing. So this is going to be the airflow coming up that way. So again, the insulation will fill up to there. The airflow out that way, excuse me. On top of the tin roof is going to be a type of venting. I'm not an expert on insulation, but that's just sort of the gist of it. I know there's a lot of hyper insulation movements out there in the world these days, but if you have a small place, get it fairly well insulated. You don't have to go completely nutso. That's why you see those screens underneath roofs sometimes. If you're standing under and you look up and you see sort of perforations or any sort of small tiny holes or screens, the air is coming up through those screens. That air is coming up like that, and it's flowing over top of the insulation, and then blah blah blah. So you get the idea. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. This is just one. This will always be empty in this section with no insulation. I hear a helicopter. I wonder if it's going to be my buddy again. Maybe he'll land. I'm desperately hoping he's going to land on my beach again with a Tim Hortons coffee or something. Oh man, I hope he has that Tim Hortons coffee. Yes, land! There he is. Look at him. Straight over top. Wild. Man, I sure hope he's bringing that coffee. Hello? Oh man. Well, there's part of it. Well, getting there. That's awesome. Say hi to them. Cool. Okay, cool. It was a totally unrelated helicopter from a couple episodes ago, but there they are. British Columbia fisheries doing their thing. Yeah, it's amazing. Good to see that the provincial fisheries are out doing their thing. I've met him before. Man, they know their stuff so well, and they go to university for several years to get to that level. And every question I fire at them, just out of curiosity, I'm not like interrogating. I'm just asking these questions about anything. And that guy has such a wealth of knowledge. Kind of awesome talking to people like that and getting it straight from the horse's mouth and really know what's going on. So that's amazing. Really cool to see that. I love that. Before anyone thinks that fisheries is wasting money on helicopters, that's the only way they can get around back in here and do their work. British Columbia is very defined by salmon and fishing, kind of like a part of the identity of this province. I often hear about how underfunded they are. It's good to actually see some of that taxpayer money in action, but it's no secret that fisheries should be 3 or 4 times the size they are. They should definitely be getting way more. Big shout out to the fisheries and conservation officers of British Columbia. I think there's like 250 or 300 conservation officers in all of British Columbia. There's more than 4 million people in this province. It's larger than virtually every state in the US, except maybe Alaska. I don't know. It's probably bigger than Texas. Not even sure. But yeah, you have 250 conservation officers for insane amounts of wildlife and rivers. I did have a rather enjoyable week, I have to say. I learned some pretty major things. I don't know, life is pretty freaking awesome. I have helicopters coming in, people coming up the river, giving me some unbelievable details about the history of this property. Serious brainstorming, let's say. I think that was the big outcome of this week, was the sort of path into the future here is all the time looking better. There's deep thought on, you know, can I get through the winter? Psychologically, am I okay with having so little human interaction? Having the internet helps a lot. Putting out these videos helps a lot. I'm in my early 40s. Am I potentially putting myself at risk for an extreme midlife crisis that maybe I went through already, or maybe I never will go through? I don't know. Am I setting myself up well for the next few years? Like, this is all brewing just very much so in the last few days. I definitely have to get better with mechanics. I learned a lot on chainsaws over the last couple of years and some other things. Like I say, yeah, I know, a lot of rambling and talking in this video. Whatever, I don't know. It's been an interesting week and a very good week. So, and yeah, thanks for all your support. You guys are great. There. I thought I should point out very quickly, I'm going to run out of rafters for the roof, which means I have to get the boat going. Part of the reason I ran out is because I decided to go with a tighter spacing on the rafters. I think sooner or later a tree or a big limb or a big windstorm will come through here. Something at some point I think will hit that roof, like maybe a big branch. I was just thinking that maybe if I have more rafters tighter together, it'll sort of minimize the amount of damage that could be done to the roof. That was the only reason I decided to go tighter on the rafters up on the roof. So, but it left me short. I'm just sort of humming and hawing about whether I should try and fix it myself. I've already wasted time on it, and the more time I waste on it, the less I'm getting done up at the cabin. And I've already tried a few different things. I'm not even... Get it up. Oh, I just can't. Trying. Oh boy, uh-oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, boat. It's pushing out to sea. This ain't going well. This is not going well. That is ridiculous. Oh. Getting this up this embankment here Going to the trailer is absolutely brutal. It's a 40 horse, but these jet drive attachments are pretty dang heavy. I don't know if they just make the motor a lot heavier, so that took everything I had to get it up here. What a brute. Cool, I like this. Tough clothing out of Norway. They sent me all this amazing stuff, perfect for the outdoors. They sent me all this stuff and were like, yeah, just try it out, whatever. Like, they never asked me to push it or anything, and I don't know, I was just flattered, and I think they just would like to see me succeed out here. So, thank you to Tuft for taking a chance on me. Morning, everyone. Can't find my lucky hat. Where did my lucky hat go? I have to put out a video. Today's Wednesday, so I have to finish, probably take me all day, finish editing a video for all y'all for tomorrow. But while I'm doing that, attempt to cook chicken in a pit style barbecue wrapped in these really big skunk cabbage leaves. I've always wanted to try that, so I have this fire going. And there's that nice pit I dug out. Get the chicken ready and go pick some, what do you call it? Those big leaves. Well, we're gonna go and find some of those big old skunk cabbage leaves. What a beautiful day. There's some here. Might need a bunch. Well, we got some garlic. We could throw some garlic in there. One big thing of garlic. Just why the heck not? And for good measure, we'll throw a potato in there. In the neck. Good boy. There's our chicken. There's our garlic-filled chicken. Could do that. I don't know, let's try it. Nice. Okay. That might almost be too much. Basically. There's no risk for a ground fire. I removed all the roots. Just for good measure, I'll make a fire on top of that and keep the heat going. I think it's going to take a few hours for sure. Don't want to wreck the chicken. I don't know, you can kind of see the leaf there. So the coals didn't penetrate it. Just a matter of digging it up without wrecking it. There's the leaves. Chicken's under that. I'm gonna gamble here. Try to dig it up in one shot. Hopefully the coals do not penetrate the leaves. Oh, it's coming out nice. If I can just do this without... That's definitely hot. Not looking too bad though. Oh, I can smell it. That actually smells pretty dang good. Oh. That smells really good. It's done. Oh my God. Look at that. It looks pretty dang amazing. That legitimately turned out. I just touched it and it fell apart. Surpassed my expectation. Look, it's just falling off. All I have is this cardboard box. I can smell it and it smells unbelievable. Potatoes done for sure. Look at that. Look at it, it's just falling off the bone. Yeah, it's just falling apart. Beautiful. Holy cow. That looks pretty frickin' prime to me. That is so awesome. Can't wait for dinner now. Okay. They're not gonna beat that. They're not gonna beat that.